All right, I have just completed The Emperor's Soul, which is a short story in Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. It's also considered one of his best works. This short story also won the Hugo Award, and I can see why, because this was a really enjoyable short story read. So let's get into a spoiler-free review for this short story. I have this short story in a hardback single edition, but it is also available in the Arcanum Unbounded, which has the vast majority of the short stories in the Cosmere for Brandon Sanderson. It's like the very first one in this book, which is great. I have already finished Elantris, which is located on the exact same planet as The Emperor's Soul, as well as The Hope of Elantris, which is in Arcanum Unbounded. Since the planet where all of these are located, called Cell, has just these three stories, Elantris, The Hope of Elantris, and Emperor's Soul, I thought I could check out the other postscript stuff that has to do with the two short novellas that are in Arcanum Unbounded, as well as the first little excerpt at the very beginning of the information about the Cellish system. But I will say, I still don't think I can read that. I started it and it brought up this concept called shards, which I do not know about at all with regards to the Cosmere. I'm pretty sure it's a major part, and I think it comes in through the Stormlight Archive, but I haven't gotten there yet. So I'm still not going to read fully that first beginning excerpt, which is right here for the Cellish system, because I just don't understand all of the references in it. And I started reading it, but then I was like, I'm getting information of stuff I don't know anything about yet. So this is still going to need to wait. Overall, though, I really did enjoy Emperor's Soul. I would give this short story 4 stars. I really, really liked it. I thought it was a beautiful tale that was told. I was fascinated and intrigued. This took me a lot longer to read than I thought, but that had absolutely nothing to do with this book. It had to do with a very, very busy weekend. So I think it took me like 3 days to read 136 pages, because this is really short. It's definitely something I could have read in a day if I had more availability and free time, but I didn't. So this took a little bit longer, but I honestly enjoyed having it spread out over a couple of days, because the only reason why I'm not giving this higher than a 4-star short story is I want so much more from this world. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful and sweet, and as a short story, it really delivered what it intended to deliver, and I appreciate that. But I want more from this story itself. I want more of the days in between and the development of the relationships between the characters. I want even more. I feel like this could be a phenomenal full-length book, personally, and so that's why it just is like, I'm still yearning for more from The Emperor's Soul. I will say, because this story is on the same planet as Elantris, I knew that they were in different parts of the world, but I will say there is literally no crossover that I could see whatsoever, except one of the countries that are mentioned in Elantris, not Elantris itself, is briefly mentioned. Not the people, not the ruler, nothing about that. Just the fact that the country exists is mentioned in The Emperor's Soul. That's the only indication that I found that these were even on the same planet, personally. Now, I didn't do a super big deep dive, but they really, really have absolutely no crossover. I will also say, at least so far, I do think Emperor's Soul can be a book that you read first in the Cosmere. I know that Brandon Sanderson made a video about some potential entry points, and one of those entry points is Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I've seen a lot of people say that Tress is amazing, but if you don't know anything about the Cosmere, you miss so many connection points, so many Easter eggs, so many valuable Cosmere components if you read Tress of the Emerald Sea early on, which is why it is definitely later in my Cosmere reading journey. But I will say, for Emperor's Soul, I did not see any real strong connection to what I'm already suspecting is aspects of the Cosmere, just personally. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I don't know everything because I haven't read the Stormlight Archive yet. But I will say, for The Emperor's Soul, I think this totally could be a first read. And I think this is a great way to dip your toes into Brandon Sanderson, because it's so short, to see if you even like this author. So I really enjoyed this. I definitely recommend this. I see no reason why anybody should not read this. 4 stars. Beautiful story. Beautiful. Loved the characters. Loved how it progressed. I want so much more from this world, from these characters. There's just so much more story. And I love it's a phenomenal short story, but I could do with so much more. I think a good comparison for this that can really demonstrate what I'm talking about is in Tailored Realities, which is another collection of short stories by Brandon Sanderson. None of these are in the Cosmere. One of these short stories is called Firstborn, which is my favorite. It's a 5-star short story in this book. What is amazing about that short story is I genuinely do not think it needs another word more. The short story is self-contained, and it's also perfect. It is the perfect length. I don't need any more. I'm glad I don't have any less. It is exactly what I need. That is the kind of short story that I can give a 5-star to. This book, still excellent. The Emperor's Soul, still phenomenal, still wonderful, but I want not even just one full-length novel more. I could totally do a duology off of this world. I could totally read beyond even a full-length novel. I want so much more from these characters, from this world, from the magic system, and because I don't have it yet, that's why 4 stars. But again, loved this, loved this, loved this. Next up in my Cosmere reading journey is White Sand, which is the only graphic novel that I believe is in the Cosmere right now. This is also one of the books that a lot of people who do Cosmere reading orders and stuff are like, I don't know, I didn't read it. Because this is also one of the least favored books, if not the least favored book in the entire Cosmere. It's technically made up of 3 graphic novels, but you can get it in omnibus form like I have right here. So I am going into this with a lot of softness and a lot of like, it's going to be okay. I'm not expecting excellence here. I just want to see if there's, you know, a good time. So I'm like really trying to approach this with a lot of no judgment and a lot of, you know, softness so that I can get the most out of my White Sand experience so that I don't, you know, assume that it's going to be greater than it is. And I hope that that will help make this feel like a good experience. But this is next up in my Cosmere reading journey. Keep reading what you love, and I will see you next time.